told Michael Jackson, I said, if you're poor, you are a poor Negro. I would use the N-word. But if you're rich, you are a rich Negro. If you are intelligent, intellectual, you're an intellectual Negro. If you are dancing and sliding and gliding, Negro.
All right, that is boxing promoter Don King, a bedazzled Don King, we should add, wearing quite a jacket, but using quite a word there as he's introducing Donald Trump at a rally in Ohio. He used the N-word. Back with us now, Angela Rye and Joseph Borelli. Angela, just your reaction.
So, first of all, my reaction is less about Don King because we know that Don King is outrageous. Maybe almost as outrageous as John's candidate. What bothers me about this particular clip are I see three white men, including Donald Trump, laughing and smirking and smiling while he's making every comment about Negro and slips and says the N-word that I won't say on air. That is highly problematic to me for so many reasons. We were just talking about black outreach, and Donald Trump has to know, if he doesn't know anything else, because he thinks that we're in the worst conditions we've ever been in my community, he has to know that the N-word is not anything that we smirk and grimace about, particularly not in church. And so I don't know who decided that Don King would be the best person to intro him, but even still, this word is beyond the pale. And so for every amount of kudos I gave him just moments before about this police shooting and when he said that was calm and measured and actually the first balanced thing I've ever heard him say in situations like this, because normally he's calling us thugs, he's lost all of that with that smirk.
To Angela, what Angela's saying there is something you hear from other folks. There's a criticism that Donald Trump is not really reaching out to African American voters, not really reaching out to the black community. He's more, if you call it full outreach, or he's more just reaching out to show moderate white voters that it's okay to vote for him.
Right, we can't fall into the trap of criticizing Donald Trump for not reaching out to African American and African American communities, and then when he does, actually saying that it's all fake, it's all a farce, without drawing some line and saying both cannot be true at the same time. But to this point, they can't. To this point, you know, clearly Don King is saying some type of a story where he's paraphrasing some story. Everyone in the background was sort of smiling. Maybe it was a comical story. I have no idea. But he slips and says the N-word. I mean,
no, but he says Negro is unacceptable in 2016, John.
Look, I'm
Joseph,
Jones,
I'm sorry, I'm mad. And
John's always
you did not do it.
John's
Yes, John is.
he's telling a story, he's speaking to an audience, he might be giving an example of what happened back in a worse era. I have no idea. We're taking it without
He's talking about Michael Jackson.
We're taking this story without any context, and it was a clear slip of the tongue. He clearly didn't mean it.
So
Clearly
please
corrected
tell me
himself
that
right
you
after he said
understand that using Negro in 2016 is also unacceptable.
I mean, have you not listened to music where other African Americans use
Please don't do that to me.
far
Please don't do
worse
that to
than
me
this?
today.
I mean, you can't say Don King is saying a word that is suddenly now not acceptable.
What I'm
It's
saying
not a
to
word that I
you,
would use, but
what I'm saying to
perhaps a
you
word that Don King would
is
use.
this trivializes your candidate's black outreach. I am going to tell you openly and honestly, and there will be people that are black, white, and everybody in between that won't like what I have to say. There are passes that black people get to use certain words. What I'm not going to give Donald Trump, I'm about to finish. Donald Trump is in the background smirking and grimacing while these comments are being made.
You don't like
I
the
am not.
context.
I don't need the context. The N-word is unacceptable to smirk and grimace about when you're talking about doing black
But
outreach.
he's clearly
That
the
is
only one.
entirely the problem. He doesn't have enough black friends who he can listen to on critical race theory issues to understand why his outreach
And if he
is
listed all his
a
black
problem.
friends, you'd say he's just listening his black friends.
No, because
to
I
make
don't
a
believe that
point.
he
I'm
has any real black friends. That's why the woman from the Trump organization had to speak twice.
I don't know. His national press secretary has been an African American woman since the beginning of the campaign. I think he's always highlighted specific African American people
Don King
in this
specifically,
campaign.
the RNC wouldn't let speak after convention.
Great
Yeah,
point.
why bring out Don King when you're doing African American outreach? What does that say?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in the decision. Obviously, I don't know what the context even of the speech he's giving in, other than he's meeting with some members of an African American community somewhere. So I'm not going to speculate and then make a headline based on my own estimation. But obviously, he's trying to, show something and show that he has support amongst some celebrity African Americans.
Ignorance. And Don King, if they knew anything about just basic black outreach, you all, they would know that Don King is not a respected figure to use for black outreach. He is someone that is trivialized in the community. He is not respected in our community overwhelmingly. That is well known. So that further demonstrates my point that Donald Trump's black outreach people should go if he really wants to reach out to black voters.